Hey guys, K-Crick here, bringing you my Hive draft recap. So, we joined the Hive this season, and it's the Hive B draw, and there's a lot of very good competition. Pretty much anyone can win, and I just really hope I can do well. So without further ado, let's go into the draft. I had pick 5 of the draft. And one mon I really wanted to use was Kieran Black. As I was looking at taking it, pick 1, thankfully he took Mew, and thankfully KB dropped to me. And I've really wanted to use this mon for a while. It's so good in the format, one of the best. It's pretty much unwallable. Like, you got 180, 170 base attack, which is pretty ridiculous. 120 special attack is not too shabby either, and it's fantastic bulk. And I love my bulky mons, so gets probably the best bulk beam. I wish it got Icicle Crash, but obviously it would be pretty broken if it did. It gets Ice Beam Fusion Bolt. Earth Power hits the majority of teams pretty much super effectively. It's really hard to find a good defensive switch into this thing, like stuff like Bronzong, which walls most dragon and ice types, do fall to Earth Power because of Kyurem's terrible ability. And not only that, it's pretty good defensively. Like, it can take a hit, 125 HP, 100 defense, 90 spit. That's fantastic bulk. It's going to function really well invested. So, other options we have: we can run a cool Hone Claws set, Iron Head to hit the Clefables. Roost is very nice for reliable recovery, and yeah. I did really want to make this my Z-Move user, but such is the nature of the Z-Move rules in the Hive, I couldn't really afford to, and there were a few other mons that I really wanted to make Z-Move users more than KB, so still a very good mon, still hits very hard, and it's still pretty much unwallable. Like, I can only really think of 2. I can think of Miltank is a very good switch in, and I guess there's not much outside of running berries for it that's really going to stop it. So, for my next pick, I was really looking at Infernape, but that got sniped literally 1 pick before me, which is unfortunate. I really wanted Infernape because it would take advantage of the steals, which kind of switch into KB. They don't really, but it really punishes the kind of switch-ins that they do bring. So instead, I went with Terrakion, and Terrakion is a really good mon. It's one of my favorites in the format. I think I've used it in 1 season apart from this, and it was kill leader in that season. Just the dual stab, Stone Edge, close combat is so hard to switch into. You can sweep, rock polish, sword stance, and obviously with the Z-Move it hits like a truck. And it is going to be my Z-Move user, of course. Like, if you don't run Z-Move on Terrak, I don't know what you're doing. But even without the Z-Move, you can run good sets. Like, both choice sets are pretty good. It's a decent rocket, although I hope I don't need to run that on most weeks. I mean, it's got plenty of other sets, like you can get Taunt, X's as a slow row, stuff like that, but most weeks I think we're just going with dual stab setup or just allow attacking choice sets. Yeah, I really love this Pokemon. It really complements KB well as well. It takes care of the bulky steals that otherwise would cause KB problems. I did want Inferno a bit more because of the fire typing, which made it, we'll let it beat stuff like Mega Scizor, which is probably one of the better Kieran Black checks, but I love Tarak, and I'm pretty happy with it, so I'm all good there. So next I wanted to pick my Mega, and my first 2 choices got sniped pretty early, like in the first round of the draft, I think. I wanted Mega Diancie with Kieran Black, but I got sniped really early, like round 1. I didn't expect it to go that early, but it did. And I was also looking at Mega Glade, probably my favorite 2 Megas in the format. Jack took Mega Glade again, so that's great, but I decided to go with one of my more used Megas in recent times, which is Mega Venu. Now, I really like this mon. I like my bulk, and it does do pretty well with Turek and Kieran Black. So I do have a bit of a glaring fighting type weakness right now, 2 fighting weaks, and Venusaur pushes up pretty well. It's also surprisingly versatile. Like some people say it's quite cut and dry, but Venusaur has lots of options. Like you can run like this knockoff, leaf storm, even get to outrage. I don't think I'm going to run that, but you know, it's an option. Sludge Bomb, Toxic Symbiosis. I've run all sorts of setup on it too. I've run Swords Dance, I run Growth on it, and something like Curse is something I wanted to try for a while. But I really like this mon. It pretty much walls entire teams. Like there's not much that can really break it. It's only got the 2 weaknesses thanks to Tickfat, and we have drafted the Kyurem, so that's something that we don't have to worry about as well. There's not much to say about this mon. It's just really, really solid. It's a good fit for the draft. So next up, I really wanted Uniclus because it fit well on the team. It was a good status absorber for Venusaur because reliable recovery. You really want something to soak up the burns, and really, yeah, just the burns really, and stuff like that. So I really wanted Uniclus. It's just pretty versatile. It's something I wanted to try out for a while, but Jake took that a few picks before me. I think it was like 3 picks before me, which is pretty sad, but it happened. So pretty much after that, I was looking at Tier 2, and I saw something in Tier 2 which I normally wouldn't draft, but it really fit in the team, and it really helped KB as well to get rid of the Stealth Rock weakness it has, and that is Starmie. So I was pretty surprised when I saw Starmie in Tier 2. I don't think I've ever seen it outside of Tier 1, which is why I don't usually draft. I don't think Starmie is worth a Tier 1 pick, but that's really debatable. But Starmie's a pretty good mon. It's got pretty much perfect coverage as well. Like Hydro Pump, actually the dual stab hits pretty hard, especially if Analytic, it hits like a truck. There's not many switch-ins in the game to Starmie, even though it has like underwhelming special attack, but the Analytic really makes switching in quite hard to this mon. It gets T-Bolt for bulky, water types that otherwise would wall it, and you get the Ice Beam obviously as well for dragon types and grass types. And it's pretty good offensively. It also fits my speeches pretty well. I won another mon after Kieran Black and Terrakion, going from 95 to 108. I won a 1 just above that, so I got 115 in Starmie, so that's pretty good there. And also probably one of the most reliable spinners in the game. I mean, it probably is top 2. I don't really think Excadrill is that great of a spinner, so this is probably one of the best ones. Yeah, so not much to say. It's a good mon, complements the team pretty well. Gets rid of rocks for KB, which is always pretty nice, and letting it do its job. And my next pick, I think I got sniped again, but I can't remember what it was really. But next pick, I picked up a Pokemon just to really synergize well with Venu to make a really good defensive core, because I always like my defensive cores in leagues. I think they're the backbone of a winning league, winning draft. And it especially helps Kieran Black to switch, because lots of things threaten Kieran Black offensively, and if you have the switch into to those mons, it's really much easier, because to defensively check them, you can get KB on passive stuff and get a kill every time. Anyway, I'm ranting. So my next pick was Skarmory, and I did want Celesteela if it dropped. I doubt it was going to drop because it's such a good mon. It should be Celesteela is, in my opinion, top 5 in draft, but I was really hoping it would drop, because I think it went forward pick 48 last season in the Hive, with something crazy like that in B-Drill. So I was hoping, it did not happen. So I had to pick up the next best thing, and Skarmory isn't really a replacement for Celesteela, but it does synergize really well with Venusaur. It covers the psychic weakness, the flying weakness that Venusaur has, and it's really bulky defensively as well. Look at those stats, 140, 65. For a long time, Skarmory's been the premier defensive wall in the game. So obviously the aim of this is spikes. You get spikes, which is pretty nice. Stealth rocks. Defog is not a good remover for KB, which is pretty nice for my whole team, because if you got bulk, you don't really want them to get worn down by hazards. Venusaur is susceptible to spikes and Stealth Rock as well. It's obviously not weak to Stealth Rock, but it's annoying, and it makes it easier, much easier to switch into things. Reliable recovery and Roost. Skarmory's pretty good, man. Like, I did use it before. I don't think I really liked using it, but that was like one of my first leagues, so I'm hoping that I will take a liking to it, basically. Now, what else can you run? You can run a pretty heat agility SD set with weak armor, pretty cool. Natural gift, which is also pretty cool. But generally, I'm going to be running most likely the standard hazard stack Roost, maybe counter if it's got something like a Garchomp, Whirlwind to stop setup. It's a pretty good mon, and at tier 2B, it's a pretty good value. Yeah. So right now I've spent a lot on my first 5 picks. I think Tarak and Skarmory are both tier 2Bs. We've got 3 tier 1s, which is a tier 1 Mega Venusaur, does soak up a lot of points. And I really wanted Crocodile after this as my next pick, because I think every draft needs a ground type, like 100%, to stop Volt Switch. And Dark types are pretty nice to stop stuff like Latios and like Alakazam, which really rip through Venusaur and Skarm. One of the only things that really beats it. I mean, there's no fire resist, obviously. Like stuff like Infernape does it pretty good, but yeah. Generally, I wanted something to deal with bulky psychic types and all that. But Crocodile got sniped literally right after I picked Skarm. Like pick after Paladin sniped me again. So I had to go with my second option, which was I did want an electric check, because I don't think Venusaur, I mean, it is a pretty good electric check, but you got stuff like Tundi I and Tundi T do have coverage to beat Venusaur, like some Psychic and Z Flying, and I just want to make sure they have to run as much coverage as possible. They give up move slots, all that nice stuff. So I did pick up Rotom H. And I really like this one. I've used it quite a lot. It is prone to Stealth Rocks, which is unfortunate, but there are ways around it. I have really reliable recovery. Starmie and Skarm, I don't think I will have any problems with getting hazards off the field if I play it well enough. So I felt like that was not an issue for Rotom. It is also my Zmon. There's no real reason. I just had points left over, and nothing else really benefited from it in tier 3, any of my tier 3 mons. So that's the reason behind that. But pretty much it's a generic set: Overheat, Volt Switch, Pain Split as its recovery option, and it just Will-O-Wisp or like T-Waves are both pretty good. It is pretty much the same thing as Rotom W, but just fire type. And it's pretty good defenses. I mean, Pain Split does kind of help it because it does 50 HP, so it gets a lot of health back, especially if you're against a Chansey or something. And yeah, and both its choice sets are pretty viable as well. They both work pretty well. Not much to say. It's a good electric check, which is what I really wanted on this team. And yeah, a good pivot as well to get into KB, Tarak, and my breakers. So after that, I was looking at a few mons, and there was a mon I drafted in every league that I wanted to pick up right now, since I thought iPro could have fit it on this draft. He just got sniped from Porygon 2, so I thought that could have been an option, so I didn't want to risk it. And none of my other tier 1, sorry, none of my other picks really were of high value, so I didn't think I would get sniped from that. So I did pick up Licky Licky, and pretty much it's going to be my pseudo psychic check, because it's really bulky. I really like this mon. Like 110, 95, 95. It's really good invested. You can take lots of hits. It rolls a lot of the metagame. If you don't prep specifically for Licky Licky, you could just get 6-0. I really like this one. It's really good. It gets wish passing as well into Kyurem, which is really nice, into Venusaur, into Scum. Because Venusaur only really gets the synthesis, which is 8 power points. Yeah, the standard set pretty much body slam, toxic, protect, wish. It can run heal well as well. To clear status is also pretty nice because Venusaur doesn't like being burned, Scum doesn't like being burned, Rem doesn't like getting toxic, especially Kyurem as well. So that's pretty nice as well. It's a good one in general. You can even use gimmicky stuff like Swords Dance, which can work pretty well depending on matchup against bulkier teams. You can run heat stuff like Disable, fire coverage for Sizzlers, knock off. It gets really good coverage, so I'm sure I can put that to good use. Maybe some niches as well. I've used Belly Drum once in the league. I've won a league final off Belly Drum, which is pretty nice. So the abilities, he gets pretty good abilities. I think there's 2 pretty good abilities, Oblivious and Cloud9. In Temple I don't see myself using that, but Oblivious prevents it from being taunted, which most defensive, like passive mons really hate being. Like I did Venusaur to Scum, which don't like being taunted obviously. So yeah, Oblivious is pretty nice, and if I face like a Zard Y or something, I have Cloud9 to really beat that. I actually like stuff like Kingdra, obviously I had to make a Venusaur, but yeah. I really like them on. I've dropped in pretty much every league, so that's why I picked it up. And next pick, I was going for something that I thought would last. It's a tier 3, which I haven't seen before. It's usually tier 2 in all the leagues I've played in before. And I was lacking a fairy type for this draft to complete my fairy skill Dragonclaw in Kyurem and Scum. And I thought that Mimikyu really fit the team well, and something I really wanted to use. With most bulky teams, you really want a last line of defense. You can set up sweepers and stuff like that, which I'm a bit vulnerable to right now. I can Scarf Tarak, I guess, to beat it, and Scum and Venusaur take a hit that versus most set up sweepers that have coverage I could struggle. So that's why I picked up Mimikyu. It's pretty good versus that, and it's also a really good sweeper. Like this stuff like Dual Stab, Play Rough and Shadow Claw, plus the priority in Shadow Sneak and its Swords Dance is what I'll be running most weeks, I think. And it's really good in sweeping teams. I've seen a lot of teams just 6-0'd by this one. Like, so many. I really wanted to use this for a while, because I've seen it do so much work before. And obviously it's going to be my Z-move user as well. I don't think Mimikyu is worth drafting without the Z-move. With the Z-move, it gets really important KOs and stuff like Toxapex and Gliscor, stuff like that, which makes it beat what it otherwise wouldn't beat, because look at this attack stat. It's only 90, it's not great. With a Z-move, it actually packs quite a punch. And especially versus offense. Offense really struggles versus Mimikyu. Other options, I could run Bulk Up. I haven't seen that being used before. I can run Destiny Bomb, which is pretty nice. This stuff is sweet. I think I'll be running Home Claws as Swords Dance. Pain Split's pretty nice. And yeah, you get dual status as well. I get all the status moves. T-Wave, Toxic, Will-O-Wisp. So it's pretty good. I do like this one a lot. I'm really actually really excited to use this. I've seen people use it really well in the past, so I want to see what happens. Oh yeah, it also runs Trick Room. My draft isn't really slow, but if I can run like if my opponent's team is really fast or something, maybe I could run like a slow Kyurem and just nuke something for 5 turns. But yeah, bit of a gimmicky option, but it could work. So after Mimikyu, I did still lack a ground type, and I really needed one. I also wanted a better bulky water type than Starmie, because Starmie has, it's not the greatest bulky thing in the world. I don't want to be running bulky Starmie every week if I can help it. So, especially since I really like its offensive capabilities. So, I did end up picking Gastrodon. So, if I had enough points, I definitely would have picked up Seismitoad. but just simply for rocks. But it's alright. I do like the Gastrodon. Gives me a nice water immunity, electric immunity. It's a pretty good mon. I mean, its defensive stats don't look too hot when you look at them, but invested, they do take specific hits. So yeah, pretty much. Gastrodon's pretty cool mon. You can run curse sets to sweep. You can run stuff like Memento, which is pretty nice. I haven't used it before. I don't think I've ever used Gastrodon before, but it seems like a good mon. Clear Smog, stuff like that. Gives good coverage. Sludge Wave. HP, not HP, I guess the Ice Beam. Stab EQ, it's pretty good. Best McGee account in the game. Yeah, there's not much to say about it really. It's a team. It's Scum and Venusaur plus Rotom, which is really my defensive core. So it makes the bulky electrics have to run like some kind of grass coverage as well, unless they don't want to touch Gastrodon. Which is actually pretty useful. We can run stuff like Whirlpool to trap, which is actually pretty nice. Yeah, it's pretty simple. Cut and dry mon. Miracode as well is pretty cool. But yeah, it's a pretty nice mon. Also acts as another water type switch in. Like, I do have a few actually. Venusaur and Gastrodon. It's a pretty disgusting core. Venusaur, Scum, Rotom, Gastrodon is pretty nice. So I do like my bulk. I think I've got pretty much team. It really suits me in that sense, but yeah. So for my last one, I had enough points for another Z-move. My last two mons, I did have enough points for another Z-move user, and I was looking at the board. I did want Lanoon because, I mean, it was a tier 2B, and that's a really good value, IMO. I was also looking at other stuff. What was I looking at? I was looking at offensive tier 5. I was looking at Melamar because I was really scared of Megazam and shit like that, but yeah, I didn't end up going with that. I ended up going with an offensive option because I don't think my draft needs much more bulk. I've got enough Venu, Scum, Rotom, Licky, Gastrodon. Should roll the majority of teams, and I can play around the rest with creative prep and whatnot. So I did end up going with Archeops, which is, and it is going to be a Z-move user. I've seen it being used as a Z-move user quite successfully in the past. I look at its defensive stats, 140, 112, 110. It's a pretty good tier 5. I think I probably got two of the better tier 5s available in Licky and the Archeops. So that's pretty nice. The Fly, like, he gets Fly Z obviously, he gets Rock Z. It's pretty nice in specific matchups. I'm not sure it'll come every week, but it's pretty nice. I've used the lead set in OU quite a bit, and it's actually really effective. Yeah, it's pretty good coverage as well. Obviously, the ability is pretty shit, but we can work around that. It gets reliable recovery. We have hazard removal for it in Starmie and Scum. So in specific matchups where it does well, it can do a job, I think. Yeah, it's hard to roll this thing. Like, it gets taunt, all this stuff. Heat Wave as well for Skarmories, Solar Stealers. All the coverage in the world. So yeah, I'm pretty happy to be using this. I haven't yet to use this in the league games, so I hope I use it well. And for my last pick, I only had enough points for a tier 2B, since I used my points on all the rest of my mons, and looking at the tier, there wasn't much I was interested in. I mean, tier 2B is pretty barren in terms of good mons. Like, I would say probably Lanoon is probably one of the only ones. I'm not sure if I like the buzz of tier 2B, but anyway, I did want a Dark type so that people couldn't just run mono psychic movesets versus me, like Necrozma couldn't just run CM, stored power, Iron Defense and Moonlight under 6 Omi, so my team is pretty weak too. So I do want a dark type, and I ended up picking Volby purely because of the dark typing, and it's not as shit as the other mons in Tier 2B, quite honestly. I don't think it will come to most games. Like, it's my kind of quote-unquote deterrent to Zam, although T-Bolt's still going to 2-hit KO this thing. But yeah, it's a decent mon. It's as bulky. I've done calcs, and it's as bulky as a Mandibuzz because of the Eviolite. It doesn't get lefties, obviously, and it's like pitiful attack stats, so it doesn't really have much offensive presence. But yeah, it's just a nice niche mon to break out in one of a few matchups if it has a good one. So yeah, not much to say. And that's my draft. So I'm really happy with it. There's a mix of mons I have used and been wanting to use, like Mimikyu, KB, something I wanted to use, and stuff I love like Tarak and Venusaur. So I'm excited to use it. I hope I have a good season. I would go through my schedule and my division, but I don't really know anyone. I haven't played anyone but Genius, and the only person on my schedule I played is Techno and Azza, so not much point going over that. So that's my first video on YouTube done. Thanks guys for watching.